And I'm still here because I'm going to introduce our next storyteller. And I didn't read the notes of what I was supposed to introduce him. So that's why I'm laughing. Anyway, you can hear another version of this story and decide which one you think sounds about right to you. Please welcome our next storyteller, Regie Gibson.
That March day in Massachusetts, when the second-rate poet went shopping for clothing, he never thought he would buy that black shirt. The one embroidered with that crazy Eastern motif, the one he knew was not his style, the one he figured he would only wear once, the one he did, in fact, only wear once. Yes, the one thing hanging in the closet next to the other thing only worn once hanging in the closet. His main thought was, I wonder how this will look on stage this evening. He was vain that way. Likewise, when she of Belmont, Massachusetts, wore that cleavage-clinging pink halter top and ultra-tight pair of black pants. You know, the outfit that screams, "Damn it, I'm a feminist with a master's degree in education, and I demand that men respect me for my mind." Yeah, that one. She was only dressing for a comfortable night out with a girlfriend who ended up flaking on her at the last minute, leaving her to go out alone. She was not used to going out alone. She had never been to a poetry reading before, and she almost didn't go this time, but then she did. She surprised us that way. Now, they did not expect to meet, much less fall into one another and begin to walk that razor blade thin, spiderweb frail bridge, sometimes built between two people on the verge of finding one another interesting. He was a man who had a rather profound liking for the ladies. All of them. Though he was surprisingly shy about women, especially that night. She, being from Massachusetts and thus a member of the Frozen Chosen, was not used to starting conversations with people she did not know, most especially second-rate poets from Chicago, but she was a little more forward than usual, especially that night. And, well, what happened next, as stories often tend not to corroborate, it is generally agreed that at some point they both ended up at IHOP. And over a cup of coffee and a shared rooty tooty fresh and fruity, he thought, maybe. And she thought, maybe. As for you, you were not yet you. That is to say, you were you, potentially. But you were not yet this ever-parasitic tsunami of new discovery fueled by laughter and lactation, leaving broken drinking glasses and ruined CDs in your wake. No. You were somewhere else, some small curved question mark, faint and forming at the end of some egg named future. Then they loved, and it was good. So they loved again. And during the August of one of those agains, the part of you that had been singing softly and alone inside of her began to sense the part of you singing softly and alone inside of him, which began to sense that part of you singing softly and alone inside of her. And those two soft, alone songs began to grow and to swell and to sing into one song. You. And after the growing and the swelling and the singing were done, you were lifted from inside the soft dark of her, lifted into light, into scream, into breath. After that, he took you into an empty room where no one could see the two of you, held you above his head, looked upwards at the ceiling, imagined the fluorescent lights to be some ocean of greater light stretched endlessly above a land that smelled of salt water and village song. And as must have happened in the lands from which your ancestors came, he brought you close and trembling to his chest, told you what your name would be, thanked his now dead father for your safe passage, then ask for strength and guidance from whatever poet's hand authored all this.